What's up, peeps? Coach Muhammad here. I'll be super quick for you. Mindset, fitness, and relationship. If somebody left their house door open, right, and then flies and things of that nature start to get in it, or maybe random strangers walk in it, or maybe, I don't know, and some animal got in it, right, or maybe the house started to have a smell, right, who they should blame if they left that house door open, right? And this is the same thing for you in your mind, right? Some of you have your mind open just like that house door all the time, right? And I understand if you're in a relationship, know that you have a key, right? So you hand that person the key to your emotions, right? When you're in a relationship with someone, right? If you go to the movies, right? You hand away your house key, your mindset, pretty much, because you're allowing the movie to shape you and what you see, what you believe, and everything like that of that nature, right? So understand in life, everybody has a key, just like a house key, right? And I'm talking about your mind here. But some of you have a key and don't use the key, and the key is not necessary because listen, if you keep your house door locked, right? And you give me the key, I can get into your house, right? Now, if you keep the key and the door is locked, how can I get into the house? I would have to break in the house, right? And this is the same thing for your mind. If you keep your mind open all the time, right? Allowing people to pretty much get in there whenever they want to, this becomes a problem because somebody could hurt you with words, you know? Maybe they say you're not good enough. Maybe they say you can't do this, you can't do that, right? So you have to keep your mind locked the same way you would keep your house locked. It's very important, right? But let me tell you this. Most of you would have a big problem and a dangerous problem when it comes to a problem that you have with family versus somebody outside that you don't know, because you're not going to be seeing that person again. You're not going to be interacting with that person again. But inside your family, the problem is bigger and dangerous. You want to know why? Because you give the key to your family, right? The key to your mind. And by doing that, they're able to affect you in a certain way. Like when it comes to maybe your emotions or, the things that you do, some of you have to realize what your kryptonite is, right? And by understanding your kryptonite, you'll be able to protect yourself, you know, right? Some of you even have a kryptonite inside your house. Why would you do that? You have a kryptonite inside your mind. So that means every time you sought out to do something or want to do something, you have that, impulse or that thought that takes you into a whole different direction, telling you, no, you can't do that. No, you're not good enough. No, you don't have the abilities. Who said you can do that? You're not capable. Why would you even think that you could do that? Get rid of this thinking that you're having, right? And this is your own kryptonite. You put it there yourself inside your mind. You have to take that away. Should I tell you guys my kryptonite? All right, you know what? I'll tell you guys my kryptonite. My kryptonite is I hate people who do bad. I hate it. That's my kryptonite. So, when you think of Superman, right? The only way he can rest is by turning off his vision and turning off his hearing, right? Because if not, he's going to be hearing things going on in life and this and all that. And some of you, this is what you need to do, right? Honestly, because you're not Superman. I wish we could. If I was Superman, it would be awesome, but I'm not. So I sometimes have to turn off my ear to certain things that are bad and turn off my vision to not seeing bad things, because if I do, it's going to cause me to feel a certain way, and therefore my energy is invested in it, and by my energy being invested in it, it's not good for me at all, because that is my kryptonite, is me seeing something bad or hearing something bad. So at the end of the day, by knowing this about myself, I know how to protect myself, right? So maybe I may see someone doing something bad to others, right? Or even to themselves. It bothers me and I want to do something about it, right? How do I do that? By changing my perception within my mind. Right now, right? If I told you, you have no idea how powerful your mind is, but people, they always talk about mindset, but they don't really explain it. They don't really explain mindset. If I say a red car, right? Can you see a red car in your mind? If I say an ocean, can you see an ocean in your mind? If I say sky, can you see the sky in your mind? Now, focus on here. Listen to me. If I say, right, I'm happy. Look, I'm already starting to feel brighter and feeling, more happier, right? Now, if I say I'm sad, I'm already giving the emotion of sadness and even like creating thoughts that will make me sad. And this is perception. So everything in life is perception, and you must protect your mindset. But your mind have a strong power that whatever you perceive is exactly what it's going to give you. So a best way I can explain this for you guys is just like this. Let me show you what the mind does. Everything I'm saying right now, right, is not humanly possible for me to say it without thinking of it first. It's impossible. So if somebody were to tell me something and then I asked them why, before I said that word why, I thought about it. I asked them if I say okay. Before I say okay, I thought about it. It's humanly impossible to say something without thinking of it first. So what does that mean? You have the ability to create, and your mind is very powerful. So what does that mean? You create your words. So if you create your words, why can't you create your feelings, right? I'm over here making this video. I'm happy. I'm smiling, right? I'm creating that feeling that I'm happy and creating the feeling of sharing to you guys, right? And I'm creating the feeling, right? Now, I could have sat back here and maybe I'm discussing something that brings me bad memories or something sad, and then immediately you ain't gonna see a smile on my face, right? I will feel the sadness. You could see it right now, right? I'm not smiling anymore. So your mind is very powerful, right? You can build a castle in your mind. Everything that you see, the cars, everything that you have, right? All these materials, it was created in a mind before it was shaped into reality. So when you think about that, just how powerful is the mind, right? You look at airplanes, you look at cars, we have heat, AC, the tachometer, right? The gears, transmission, right? The fluids, right? And even put a radio on it. You look at this phone, this device, right? What it can do. And I can talk to someone from another country. All this was thought of in the mind. The mind is very powerful. So all you have to do in life is learn how to wield your mind. And this is the same concept I just give you guys, right? Is the key. You have the key to your mind, right? It's up to you whether you have your mind open like a house cracked door, or you have your mind locked so that only you let whatever you want to let inside. Just like you can close your house door or open it and only you let whatever you want to let inside. This is the same thing. It's true, some people have their doors like open during the day and stuff like that. And at that point, whatever wants to get in is going to get in. Don't have your mind like that, Do not have your mind like that. It's very important. Have the keys to your mind and lock it, and only give the keys to people that you want to give it to. Whether it's your partner, your spouse, family members, and even if you don't want to give him the keys, you don't want to give him the keys, But I believe when it comes to relationships, there has to be, a door that's open over there for the relationship to be meaningful and purposeful. So what that means is, right, if you're in love with someone, right, the things that they say and do with you, you have to be able to feel it. If you can't feel it, then it's not genuine, then it's not real, right? And how do you feel it? By letting them a space on your heart, right? And your mind, so that if they tell you I love you, you feel it, right? If they kiss you, you feel it. Picture this: eating food. When you're eating food, right, you can taste the food. But have you ever eaten food that you can't taste? At the point that you eating the food that you can't taste, I'm explaining to you guys because I have, right? You cannot taste the food at all. What do you think happens to your mind? What does your mind say when you're eating this food that you cannot taste? Your mind is trying to understand and perceive what it is you're eating, right? But since you can't taste the food, right, you tell your mind what the food tastes like. Did you know that? You tell your mind what the food tastes like. Okay, let me give you guys another example. You're eating food that you can taste. Let's say, for example, a cake, right? And there are sweet cakes and there are cakes that are unsweet. Let's say you're eating the sweet cake, right? Immediately when you take a bite, right, your tongue and your senses feel that this cake has sugar, right? And maybe you have tasted many different variations of life before, right? Of even different kind of cakes, but just the fact that the texture and everything and the sweetness, it can even be different flavor, it doesn't matter, but as long as you have the sugar and it's a cake, right? But here's the thing, you also see it that is a cake, right? And your tongue also says that it's a cake, right? And these are signals going to your mind that this is a cake. Now, let me give you another example. If I put a cake in front of you and I blindfold you, right? The only thing that you can do is taste it, right? And you eat it. Would you know if it's a cake or not? Some of you may say yes, some of you may say no, right? And this helps you understand how close and connected you are with your mind. Your tongue have the memory, unless it's somebody who never tasted cake before. Your tongue has the memory, right? And often, based on the flavor, you can even smell it. But your tongue, just alone, your tongue has a memory to tell if something is cake or not. By the texture, by the way it tastes, right? And some of you may, I think, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but if you have a cake in front of you and you don't see that is a cake and you eat it, you should know that is a cake if you have tasted a cake before. This is what I'm saying. You know, if I put a steak in front of you and I blindfold you, right? Or even I give you a bite of it, you will know if it's a steak you're eating or not because of that memory, that sensory from your tongue. Now, let's say I give you maybe, I don't know, an orange, right? And I feed you the orange. Now, would you know if that was an orange that I feed you or not? Yes, you would know because of your tongue. The sensory and the memory remembers that this is an orange. The sourness, the texture, right? And when you crunch it, how it squeeze out the juice and all that in your mouth, you know. But take someone who never ate an orange before. When you give them an orange and you ask them what they're eating, at that point, what happens? They create their own perception and reality of what it is they're eating. And then that signal goes to their mind that this is something sweet, the texture is like this, right? And all that. And they keep that in their mind so that now, let's say they tell their mind that the orange that they eat is an apple and they never ate an orange before, but I'm just giving you guys an example, right? That this person says that this is an apple that I just ate, right? Now, the next time I feed them this orange and they're blindfolded, right? What are they going to say? That this is an apple that I'm eating, right? Not to say that they ate an apple before, this and that. I'm just giving you guys an example, right? They're just saying that is an apple, right? We don't know if this person eaten an apple before or not. It doesn't matter. But let's just say they call it an apple, right? And it's just like this new word that just came about their mind that they give it to or something. Maybe they could have even called it, I don't know, a sweet thing, you know, because it's, or sweet texture because it's a texture in their mouth and it's sweet, right? So this lets you know the mind is very powerful. And before, the mind learns everything through your senses. What you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you hear. All your senses, right, tells the mind exactly what it is, right? But listen to this, right? If you smell something, let's say you're smelling a fragrance, you don't know what this fragrance is because you never smelled it before. You get to tell your mind what kind of fragrance it is and how would you describe it. Now, let's say a month from now, I give you the same fragrance to smell. You're going to tell your mind, oh, I remember smelling this. Your nose is going to say that, you know, and all that. I remember smelling this, and this is what I called it. Maybe I called it rich smell, you know, right? And so every time you smell this fragrance, you're going to call, oh, this is the rich smell, right? Now, you smell the fragrance that you smelled before many times, right? Even if you're blindfolded and I sprayed it, oh, you're going to say, oh, yeah, that's the vanilla. Oh, yeah, that's the so-and-so. Listen, you have the ability to tell your mind exactly what you want it to see, what you want it to believe, even though you have your eyes, right? I could be looking at something right now, maybe the sky, and I say the sky is white, and that message go to my brain that the sky is white. You look at the sky, you say the sky is blue. That message go to your brain that the sky is blue. Now, it doesn't matter who was right, but let me ask you this: who was right between those two? Both of you are right, because everything that you do, that you see, hear, taste, is all perception. Now, as I told you guys earlier, my kryptonite is I hate seeing someone doing bad to themselves or others and things of that nature, right? That's my kryptonite because it just cringed me, right? So I try to protect my energy by whenever I see something that's not good, I change my perception of it, right? If I hear something that's not good, I change my perception of it. If I smell something that isn't good, I change my perception of it. So you have the ability to wield your life the way you want. Just like those people who invented those things or the things that you see, right, wield their life and those inventions into reality. So I know people always talk about mindset, but they don't really explain it, right? I just break it down to you. Follow for more. I have so many secrets. My mind is just raging with things. Like, it just happens on the fly. I'm always thinking, right? And I always want to do videos. And sometimes the thought even may slip my mind. But follow for more. But I will leave you with this. Every house has a key, right? You can choose to leave the house door open, or you can choose to keep it locked. And whoever you give the key to will have access to the house. And if you don't give them the key, the only way they can get in is by trying to break in to get in the house, right? Listen, the breaking in takes effort and all that stuff, right? So always keep the keys of your mind locked and only give it to people who bring meaning to your life, who are important to you, or who you can learn something good from. Because this, I believe, is the best way to live. Because if you just crack your door open, right? So let me give you an example. You crack your door open and nobody's at the house. You're not there. If somebody comes in there and robs you, who can you blame? Who you're going to be mad at? Yourself. And this is the same thing. If you keep your mind open to any and everything, and you're full of this thing called anxiety, depression, unhappiness, rage, hate, disgust, embarrassment, right? Or feeling of even suicide, who can you blame? So I'll tell you guys, ladies and gentlemen, friends, keep your mind locked and only open it to those people who bring value to your life, who are important to you, right? And who are doing something good. And this is the same way I can say I used to watch movies, and I love movies. I love TV, right? But I trained myself, and it's gotten to the point that I can't even really look at a TV anymore. Even if I do, and there's so many things to watch, I can't even watch nothing because it's all boring to me. It's not entertaining. And I want to be inside my mind to think, because in your mind, you can actually play a movie. You can create a movie. You can do many things in your mind. Do you believe that? Right? So when you go to the movies, and you're pretty much giving away the keys to your mind, because you're allowing this movie to shape your perception, right? The way you feel, right? And how you perceive things, right? Because, you know, when there's a scene that's scary inside the movie, and you feel it, right? With the music and the sound, and you know, whatever is going on there, you hear it, you see it, you're gonna sense it, and then you perceive it as something scared. But there are those people who go to the movies and they keep their mind locked, and something could be scary, right? This person can clearly hear it, they can clearly see it, but everyone around them is jumping because this is scary, and they're not jumping at all. Why is that? Because this person is a person who have developed themselves, right? Or maybe even if they didn't take the time to work on themselves and their mind, and to unlock the secrets of the mind, they have been around someone who have done it. And energy transfer, as I say, so your surroundings is very important, right? And at the same time, if you're watching this video, right, you're also programming your mind, right? And that's why you never want to put anything bad online or on the internet, right? You could do something funny, but don't do something funny that hurt others. You could, you know, put out something good with value, teach somebody something, you know, right? Make people feel good about themselves, empowered, you know, happy, and all those things, right? And that's what I do, guys. So you remember, your mind is a very powerful thing. Recognize and understand what is your kryptonite. That will allow you to protect your energy, and your mind can do anything. Everything that you see in life, that you hear, that's been made, and everything all came from the mind. And God, of course, right? God give it to us, you know, give us the brain to think, to be able to develop and all that, you know, right? So God made us creators, you know. We're able to create things with our mind. So the mind is very powerful. You're able to create happiness, sadness, you know. You're able to create anything you want in your mind. So if you're able to do that, if the person who made a car was able to create it in their mind and shape it into reality, plane, right? Houses, you know, right? All these things. Why can't you create the life you want in your mind and shape it into reality? You have to start by applying what I say. You have the keys to your mind. Keep it locked and only unlock it to your loved ones, people who bring value into your life, people you can learn from, and people who are doing good. And this will help you advance in life. And always analyze and think and assess situations, your feelings, your mood, and everything through your senses, because your senses are working, but sometimes you fell unconscious to your senses, right? Don't fail unconscious to your senses, right? Use your senses to help you understand more, right? And every day, take the time to reflect on your life, on the life that you want to have, not your situation, right? Reflect on the life that you want to have, right? Imagine it exactly the way you want it and bring it into reality. It's very possible, and you can definitely do it. Assess the life that you want in your mind, right? Imagine it exactly the way you want, right? And bring it into reality. But analyze your situation, right? Listen, your situation, all it is just phases. Situations are just phases. You know, I will even describe situation as the weather. Now, there are places to where it doesn't snow, correct? Right? There are places to where it doesn't get cold, right? And there are places to where it doesn't get hot, right? So you can do that within yourself. Tell your mind, unlock your mind, get in there, and say you will be a person who will always stay at 70 degrees. And you can do that. Trust me. And of course, we're not talking about externally, we're talking about inside, because everything happens inside before it's outside. So that means no matter what's going on around you, you could always stay 70 degrees inside. So this is maybe for some of you is 50 degrees, maybe for some of you is 60. Everyone loves different temperatures, you know. For me, I believe is around there, 65, something like that, you know, right? That means I'm always, you know, my mood is always cool, you know, but then, you know, of course, I'm measuring this up to 100, right? So if I'm at 65, that means I'm past the half point, right? So my mood is always cool. Let's say if I'm at 50%, but some of you, maybe your mood to be cool is 70%, but for me, it's 50. And then when I get to 65, that's where that ambition and fire and spark come from to allow me to do things and, you know, navigate through life and stuff, right? Something very important that I'm going to leave you guys with, right? Do you want a car that self starts itself or you start it? Everyone is going to be, you know, biased about this in a way, right? Some people may say, I would want a car that starts itself. Some people may say, I want a car that I would start, right? My whole point of this is, right? Now listen, do you want a car that drives itself or you drive the car? Some people may say, I want the car to drive itself. Some people say, I want to be the one that drive the car. Me, personally, I want a car that I can start myself. I want to drive the car myself. Do you know why? Because I don't need any external or want any external things to start me, to get me motivated to do what I need to do or go through life. And I don't want anyone driving my life but me. So I have to motivate myself and I have to drive myself every single day of life. And if you go into your mind, work on yourself every day, right? Eat food, good food, not too much. Do exercise, right? To help you grow and strengthen your body. And this will strengthen your mind, right? And condition yourself, right? You will be able to unlock the potential of your mind, right? I used to be a daydreamer. In school, I will always daydream. And I never knew what this was. Some people look at it as distraction in this, but those are the people who are going into their mind and trying to see what's in there, what I can do, and learn about the mind, because it's the most powerful machine in the whole entire world. It's the mind. If we didn't have it, none of these things you see would exist. So, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, be the person that starts yourself. You don't need anything external to start you, to get you going. Be the person that drives your life. You don't need anybody to drive it for you. Just learn, observe, take in only what you want to take in, right? Perceive things in a good way that benefits you, that's going to help you, that's going to progress you, and that's going to get you the life you want. Everything in your life is all about perception. So perceive the life that you want and take action. Till next time, guys.